electronic gadgets and its impact on youth. So, my very first question to you is, how do you think phones and other gadgets separate the youth from the knowledge of books? As we all can see that they are more concerned about the social circle. That as a whole hampers their overall personality development. So what are your views on this?
Now we have seen child who is digitally literate from the very beginning of his life, but socially his skills are not so much improved. Sometimes he may hesitate to be in social group, but he's very active in social media.
Why do you think the present youth is more prone towards mental illness? Do you somehow think that excessive use of electronic devices is responsible for this?
In the age group of 14 to 25, we can say, are suffering from depression, okay, in India basically. And suicidal rate, if we see suicidal rate in youth, among youth in India, it is highest globally. For example, if you're posting something on Facebook, you probably wait for some likes or comments. And if you do not get that, you feel depressed. You will not feel good about that, right? And that not feeling of good in some stage will promote some illness, like sadness. You do not want to talk to anyone. And whenever you are sending some message to someone, sometimes it may happen in WhatsApp or other that you are waiting for a reply. So ultimately, some way or other, yes, our perspectives are shaped by the mass media, and because there is no filter. So the no filtration of the knowledge that we are receiving from the social media may create problem, and that may lead to sometimes mental health issues. I think so. Things which is not talked publicly, and that is why they also search some like diseases maybe, or sometimes they also will search like sex life, which is not talked regularly, and that will take them to another pages which is not legally permitted to see, right?
Ma'am, when we say of research or dissertation work, I'm pretty sure you will know it better. So, ma'am, we oftenly get to know that the standards of research analysis is deteriorating day by day. So, do you hereby think that easy accessibility of technology is a cause for it?
One thing will also happen, that the touch of book is different. It is not like the touch of mobile phone. When you read from book, you will get a different feeling. Small things you do properly, that will give you happiness. And also one more thing, the third one, I believe will be no procrastination, that I will do it tomorrow. Then tomorrow I will say that day after tomorrow.
So ma'am, my last question to you is, what do you do to keep yourself mentally and physically healthy?
I talk to myself sometimes that I am strong. Some affirmations, some positive affirmations you should give to yourself. We cannot separate physical and mental health, and that is why we should take care of our physical health to take care of the mental health, and take care of the mental health to take care of the physical health.
Good evening viewers, I, Disha Hazarika, welcome you all to another interview presented by News Health Plus. Today we have with us Dr. Pratisha Padmasri Deka Madam. She is currently working as an assistant professor in the Department of Education of prestigious Cotton University. She has previously served in Assam Bosco University and Pandu College as an assistant professor in the Department of Education, authored 5 books, also contributed 25 research articles in different international journals of repute, including in prestigious Springer International Publishing, Switzerland. Authored 24 chapters in different books, presented papers in more than 30 national and international conferences. Along with this, Madam Pratisha is a good speaker, and she is well known for her oratory skills and has never failed to amaze her students and colleagues with her talks. Thank you so much, ma'am, for having here with us. So, before going to the main topic, let us know more about you. So, can you just briefly summarize yourself, like your childhood and your educational background?
Well, thank you, Disha, for introducing me so nicely. And I am not so much fond of praising myself because I like to get known by the works I do. And as a child, I born in Bahatacharya, and then I have completed my higher secondary from Handy Girls College. Then from Cotton College, earlier it was known as Cotton College, now Cotton University, I completed my graduation and post-graduation from Cotton itself. And I completed my PhD studies also from Cotton. And being a teacher, I feel utmost privilege to be in this profession because it is my dream job. And I love to be among students and to involve in different activities that help me grow. Maybe sometimes study, maybe sometimes using different kind of new skills in teaching and like that. And that is why maybe sometimes I feel good to study also, so that I can grow myself. And yeah, I'm happy that you have invited me. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It was lovely hearing from you. It seems like you are a bright child from right from the childhood. So without any much delay, let us move towards our main topic of discussion. So today the topic that we have chosen is the electronic gadgets and its impact on youth. So my very first question to you is, how do you think phones and other gadgets separate the youth from the knowledge of books? As we all can see that they are more concerned about the social circle. That as a whole hampers their overall personality development. So what are your views on this?
My view on personality development is that it is not something that comes from only one factor. Okay, so personality may develop from different factors. Sometimes genetic, sometimes social. Obviously, society will be there as an influential factor. And nowadays, what we have seen, obviously, the influence of electronic gadgets also we cannot say that it has not influenced. It is not influencing, it is definitely influencing in some or other way. And what I can say is now we have seen child who is digitally literate from the very beginning of his life, but socially his skills are not so much improved. Sometimes he may hesitate to be in social group, but he's very active in social media. That kind of thing we have observed. And sometimes what happens, it is surprising also. The skills, social literacy is also a kind of skill which is sometimes more important than digital literacy, though overall you see different campaigns are giving importance on it. And a different perspective like social literacy or skills of being social, like our perception, social perception, like what is society, that grows from the medias. Like for example, when we are searching something in Google, or maybe you are finding a group of people in Facebook, you will develop a kind of idea of primary and secondary group. They will think that this group is mine. Maybe at that time they will not consider their family to be like our own group, but their social group will be the group in which they are talking in, or they are dealing with in social media. So their perception is changing towards society. And also sometimes what happens, because of this digital literacy, sometimes their skills are also changing, sometimes positively, sometimes negatively. I think as a student you also know, or we also know, that sometimes the students, whenever they're writing or typing messages in answer script also, they write very shortly, like example. They cannot write example, they will like ex, right? Like that they do. And definitely that is why some or other way personality traits, maybe positively or negatively, it is getting influenced by social media to some extent, I believe so.
Okay, ma'am. So moving towards the next question. My next question is, why do you think the present youth is more prone towards mental illness? Do you somehow think that excessive use of electronic devices is responsible for this?
For me, mental illness comes sometimes genetically, sometimes from parents also, one may inherit. And yes, society also plays a role, peer group, because before advent of social media or digital gadgets, there were also mental illness. We cannot say that it is happening only because of the gadgets, because it is up to us how we use that, right? And that is why, but yes, some studies like UNICEF, when it has found that like 1 out of 7 students in the age group of 14 to 25, we can say, are suffering from depression, okay, in India, basically. And suicidal rate, if we see suicidal rate in youth, among youth in India, it is highest globally. And regarding that, we can say, though India is having, or other countries are also having, so much of youth potential, some way or other they are deviated from their goal of flourishing as human resource. And that mean we cannot solely make social media or digital gadgets responsible for that, but sometimes it happens. We cannot neglect that. For example, if you're posting something on Facebook, you probably wait for some likes or comments, and if you do not get that, you feel depressed, you will not feel good about that, right? And that not feeling of good, in some stage, will promote some illness like sadness. You do not want to talk to anyone, and whenever you are sending some message to someone, sometimes it may happen in WhatsApp or other, that you are waiting for a reply. If you do not get that, obviously you are mentally dependent on that, right?
Yes.
And like that, different cases like cyberbullying is also coming up, right? And sometimes what happens, not only that, when we see the India is like India is having like population, more youth population than other countries. So we can just grow them, right? We can flourish them as human resources, but we are not able to do so. Different policies are coming up, different initiatives are taken by government from time to time, but how can we forcefully make them do that, right? And you have also heard about some games like Blue Whale and others. I think you still remember.
Yes.
Before that also we had different serials. Following that, students went to like terrace, and they committed, or they tried to make the same moves like the superhero, but they failed to do so. So ultimately, some way or other, yes, our perspectives are shaped by the mass media, and because there is no filter. So the no filtration of the knowledge that we are receiving from the social media may create problem, and that may lead to sometimes mental health issues. I think so.
So, my next question is it okay to Google search everything? Like, we usually see when we study and we don't know this topic, then we just go to the Google and search, and we get numerous articles in front of us. So, do you think that gives a boundary to our thinking capacity of the teens?
Google search is a search engine, right? And whatever we take from there is up to us again. Google is not saying you that you study this, you do not study this. These are like options, and we need to find out what is good for us. But yes, the students, whenever you see good things, also you can search, right? Adolescents, particularly in their stage, they're very much like inclined to know about the things which is not talked publicly, and that is why they also search some like diseases maybe, or sometimes they also will search like sex life, which is not talked regularly, and that will take them to another pages which is not legally permitted to see, right? And that is why when we always allow, or student always try to see everything in Google, sometimes it creates confusion. And what happens, you see, anyone can create data on internet, right? If I create something, even different database we are having, if you type something, as you said, you will see different kind of search output. From there, what to select and what not to select, we do not know, right? So Google search is not limiting your thinking capacity, but ready-made materials are available. So students do not want to study book. They just want to like type PDF on this. Even I have seen some of the students, sometimes what they do, not only in our or other institution, it happens, whenever studying something or finding out review of literature also, directly they type review of literature on this. The essence of reviewing is what? They need to study every article. So getting dependent on ready-made material, it is happening because of the search engines. But yes, obviously, there are also some students who are very serious, who want to take Google as a reference, right? Not like their sole study will depend on that. So it depends on person how he takes it, I think so.
Ma'am, when we say of research or dissertation work, I'm pretty sure you will know it better. So, ma'am, we oftenly get to know that the standards of research analysis is deteriorating day by day. So, do you hereby think that easy accessibility of technology is a cause for it?
Review, as you see, research means searching again. Someone has already done it, but you are searching again. And there is a concept of ethical research. When you are reviewing or you are doing any kind of research, you have to be ethical. If you are studying some other person's work also, there are some ways of citing, acknowledging, etc. But when we talk about dependence on ready-made material, obviously we get that from net. And that is why sometimes what happens, some people just copy, which is not good. Copying not only limits your creativity, research means you should create something new. You should try to actually. It is not like you will always be able to give original idea or finding a solution of something. But yes, you should try to find out new idea to the existing theory or existing practices happening. And in that way, when ready-made materials are already available, even you see nowadays artificial intelligence is dominating human intelligence. You just see the example of ChatGPT, right? You get everything. You can also give a topic, you get the ready-made poem out of that, right? So artificial intelligence is there, but ethical research should be there from my point of view, because the punishment of copying is also plagiarism, and copying is also very high, and some also have paid by giving up their degree, and that is why depending on net for every type of research is not good.
Institute of Urology and Kidney Diseases. In short, IUKD is the first kidney-related super specialty hospital in northeastern India, based in Sonapur, Guwahati. Under the supervision of eminent urologist Dr. Arup Kumar Nath, IUKD is the modern-day healthcare hospital with various facilities related to kidney diseases. All kinds of laser technology in urology and nephrology related issues are available at IUKD. For the healthcare services and facilities at IUKD, we can be reached at 98641 04444 and 88227 21671.
Okay, so ma'am, my next question to you is, as we can see that it is a health related channel, so what is your message to our youth to keep them mentally and physically healthy and avoid like drug addiction, consumption of alcohol, etc.?
I will suggest for only 3 ways, because if I tell to follow or do yoga and other type of routine, I know for many of the people it is not possible, breathing exercise and all, because generally that kind of suggestions we see in books and all, but it is difficult in day-to-day life, and that is why we can start slowly, right, from small things, because mental health is not a very is something that will come from taking big steps, like you have constructed a building or like that you will get satisfied, not like that. First of all, I would like to say use of leisure time properly, recreational activities, because whenever we get time we are having the habit of using our devices, that is mobile. But yes, instead of that we can also have some alternate hobbies, growing hobbies like reading some books, good books. Even if you are having a mobile phone, you can download different ebooks, good books. So that way you are using mobile phone also, you are reading books. But in that way, one thing will also happen, that the touch of book is different. It is not like the touch of mobile phone. When you read from book, you will get a different feeling. Otherwise, you see, now the online transactions are so easily removing use of monetary transactions in form of cash. But even in the existence of PDFs, we are not like removing the exist, or we are not denying the presence of the books. That proves that books are essential. We need to have the hobby or habit of reading books. And not only that, suppose you are loving gardening, you see a flower growing. Even if you do not know how to paint, try to draw something. You will have the ownership in that. Whatever you do, if you feel happy in that, I think that is a good thing, and that will make you happy. And secondly, I would say to follow the rule of doing whatever you do, even it is small, trying to do it with compassion, with perfection. It is not like I'm keeping like small thing. Suppose you are keeping your books in a shelf. It is not like somewhere I'm putting it. You just try to do it properly. That way you will feel happy. Yes, I have done it. Small things you do properly. That will give you happiness. And also one more thing, the third one, I believe will be no procrastination. That I will do it tomorrow. Then tomorrow I will say that day after tomorrow. And that because some way or other inside your mind that develops a depression of not doing so. Suppose you are buying something online, and sometimes you are putting in your cart, right? Sometimes you put so many things in your cart, you do not buy it also, but you feel happy, right? Because that is a kind of happiness, like you have bought it. And that way, whenever we think that we will do something and we do it, that makes us happy, right? And that way, from small things, we can get mental happiness. And obviously, solving the issue of drug addiction, alcohol consumption is not always related with technology. Unemployment can be one. And we can also say about some issues at home. Family environment can also be one. So many issues are there. But yes, growing healthy hobbies, because addiction to hobbies I think is better than addiction to drug and all. So yes, growing healthy hobbies, then not procrastinating anything, and doing whatever you do, even if it is small, with perfection and dedication, can help in developing or making someone mentally healthy, I believe.
Thank you, ma'am, for your valuable suggestions. So, ma'am, my last question to you is, what do you do to keep yourself mentally and physically healthy?
Okay, so to keep myself physically and mentally healthy, whatever I have talked about or message whatever I have given, that I try to do, the 3 things that I have mentioned. Apart from that, I talk to myself sometimes that I'm strong. Some affirmations, some positive affirmations you should give to yourself. Like sometimes you feel bad about the environment, sometimes things are going on according to your will, then obviously you will feel demotivated. Then you can remember the days you have already crossed, right? And some way or other, we have all of us are having some of the problems we have already crossed, and we have won in that situation. So whenever the situation comes that compels you to think that no, you have to accept defeat, you need to remember those days that I have covered this distance, more I can cover, because many of the people are not lucky to have the support system. I'm lucky I'm having my husband or the surrounding. But sometimes you need to be strong. And that is why positive affirmations to yourself is always important. And one more thing, we should always try, I believe, to grow gratitude. Because we should not take things for granted. That I deserve it. You are earning it, not deserving it. We do something and as a result we earn that, right? So when we grow gratitude, we try to be kind to other people. You do not expect more. And yes, sometimes we expect more also, because we are giving something to someone. In return, we will also expect that person will say thank you to me. Sometimes you may not listen to thank you. it's okay. Do your work diligently, and if you if you are able, based on your ability. So mental health comes from your day-to-day activities, how you see yourself. And regarding physical health, obviously we need to be active. We need to be active always. It is not like, because you see earlier students or the child, they got the opportunity to play outside the room, playground, right? After coming from school, they will run to play with their friends. Nowadays, a kind of separation is there because no time. After coming from school, they have different classes, right? And even you see in that way also, when we are not doing something physically, the happy hormones may not release. I think you have heard about the hormones like serotonin that releases when we are physically active, right? So when we are physically active, that releases happy hormones, and it will always it help to keep ourselves mentally healthy, because physical and mental health are inseparable. Right? We cannot separate physical and mental health, and that is why we should take care of our physical health to take care of the mental health, and take care of the mental health to take care of the physical health. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. How beautifully you just say these things. So, ma'am, thank you so much again for being with us today in this talk. I'm confident that our viewers have inspired from your words, and I'm inspired by communicating with you today. I was keen to know more from you, but due to lack of time, it isn't possible. But it will be an honor for me to have you again with us here someday. So thank you again, ma'am, for being with us. Dear viewers, with this comes to the end of today's session. We hope this interview is fruitful for you. We are soon coming up with more such interviews. Till then, stay tuned and have a nice day ahead. Thank you.